Yes, guys. Okay, so let's run through the next phase of semi-private. Lots of you look forward to these videos on a Sunday, just because you like to get yourself planned, prepared, ready for the next phase, which is obviously going to start tomorrow. So as usual, guys, it'll be a 3-week phase. We like 3-week phases because it keeps it mentally stimulating, and we find that the first week can act as a little bit of a deload, and the second and third week you can really push and try and increase your weights then. And the longer you're with us as a member, what you'll find is exercises come back into rotation, and if you're using your SOS app on your phone to track your weights, the app's going to tell you what you did last time. So the ability to progressively overload is always there. So let's look at the next phase. Okay, so it's all set up for you on your app. It should go live at midnight tonight. Okay, so as you can see, the rep scheme for this phase is quite heavy. Whenever it comes to programming, you need to let the reps dictate the load. Okay, so what I mean by that is if you see 3 sets of 10 to 12, you know that when you do 12 reps, you're going to need to pick a weight that is obviously a little bit lighter than if we were going to be doing 4 sets of 6. Okay, 4 sets of 12 versus 4 sets of 6. 4 sets of 12 is a lot more repetitions, a lot more time and attention, which is going to need you to utilize a different weight for each setup. So 6 reps is 83% of your 1RM. Okay, for those of you that do know your numbers, we did do testing not so long ago. So if you know what you can do for a 1 rep max, imagine you can do 100 kilos, then for 6 reps, you should be able to do around 83% of that, which would be 83 kilos. That isn't to say you need to start on 83 kilos, because obviously these are maximums. All right, and when it comes to training, obviously we want to have a stimulus. We want to annihilate you. So, but it's good to know what you should be able to do potentially in regards to the rep scheme. Okay, so if it was me and I could do 100 kilos for 1, and I know that 6 reps is 83%, what I might do in week 1 is I might start 70, 75. I'll see how that feels. If I can manage 6 and it's quite easy, all right, I'll go up to 77.5. And if I can manage that and it's quite easy, I'll go to 80. Then if that's still quite easy, then I'll go up to 82.5. But after every set, I'm assessing how many more reps I could have done. And if it gets to the point where, imagine I started on 75 and I thought, okay, that's close now, I'm not going to be able to do any more, I'd stay on 75 for all 4 sets. And then the following week, then I start on 75 again, and then maybe try and go heavier for the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th set. I do like to do step loading when it comes to big compound movements. So you're better off starting, 15% below your predicted rep max based on the percentages. Okay, so that gives you an opportunity then to rehearse good technique. Your joints are not getting crushed in week 1 of a new phase, and you can build up every single time. Okay, so the A series is 4 to 6. B series is set to 6 to 8, and then the C series we're going to be doing isometrics. Okay, now in terms of really transforming your body shape, we want to make sure we're trying to lay down as much lean muscle mass as possible. We know that lean muscle mass is going to give you a more toned, a more defined, a more athletic physique. Okay, and when it comes to training, there's 3 different types of muscular contractions. We have the concentric contraction, which is the lifting of the weight. Now, typically that's what we're going to do in the A series. The focus should be on lifting as heavy as possible with perfect form, and also making sure you maximize full range of motion. All right, but that's the concentric, which is the lifting of the weight. Now, whenever we lift weights, we still control them slowly, especially on the A series, we utilize a 4-second down tempo. So we are getting a small eccentric stimulus as well, because we're not just dropping to the floor like a powerlifter would. We're not using our tendons and ligaments with the strength shortening cycle to lift the weights. We're using our muscles. Okay, we want to make sure that this training is giving us a muscular stimulus and not a stimulus based on the strength shortening cycle where we're using our ligaments, tendons, and joints. Okay, our muscles, our tendons and joints and knees and things like that, they're not going to be thanking us long term if we're bouncing out the hole, on squats and stuff. So longevity is always the key. But in the A series, the main focus is a concentric contraction with a small eccentric focus, because we are lowering under control. Okay, we are going to be doing some eccentrics in this phase. A lot of you have been doing the leg curls. They can be in this program as well with a 6-second eccentric. So we got them to look forward to. So we are looking at some form of eccentrics as well. We would overload enough of certain muscles. But the main focus of this program is isometrics, which is basically building muscle without moving. Okay, so this is when you're applying tension on a muscle. There's no concentric, eccentric. There's little movement. Okay, so it could be doing a wall squat. It could be we got different types in this program. We've got a Bulgarian split squat isometric. We've got push-up isometric. And we're going to be using this method in quite an advanced setup to really bring up isolated muscle groups, so that if we can make these isolated muscle groups a little bit stronger, it's going to have a positive effect then on all your big muscle groups. For example, if we can make the biceps a bit stronger, it should help your chin-up performance, because the bicep is a major muscle that's involved in the chin-up, but the back is the main muscle group, is a subsidiary muscle group that's heavily involved in assistance-based muscle group for the chin-up. Okay, same thing with the quads. If you can get the quads a bit stronger, it's going to definitely help with your squat. Same with the glutes. If your glutes are stronger, it'll help with your squat. Okay, even though the glutes are not totally responsible for the squat, is a large pool of muscles that assist in making that movement happen. Okay, so the C series are going to be focused on bringing isolated muscle groups, which should have a positive effect on the muscle mass in these muscles as well, which will also have a positive carryover to the photo shoot, which is happening on the 6th of November, which a few members are obviously doing. But lots of members are crushing it and making great progress. Okay, so I'm not going to go into it too much. We know the warm-ups are on here. We know there's a selection of conditioning workouts on here. So if you can't make the gym, they're here for you. There's a selection of yoga workouts as well. I touch on these every single phase. They're still there for you. Okay, but let's look at the main workout. So Monday's Upper Body 1. Okay, and we catch up with Upper Body 1 on a Saturday at 8 o'clock at the gym as well. Okay, so the A series for this workout, we got 45-degree barbell press. So this is the midpoint between an overhead press and a bench press. All right, there's a 45-degree angle. All right, we want to have a medium grip. Okay, pronated grip, obviously using a barbell. So that's an overhand grip. Okay, I'll make this screen a bit bigger so you can see. And if anyone has got any questions as we go through, feel free to ask. Okay, and we're going to be taking 2 minutes rest after the 45-degree incline barbell press, and then we're going to be going into our neutral close grip chin up. So if you are doing this at home, or on your own in the gym, just make sure you take a stopwatch. Make sure you do take this 2 minute rest in between. So it's incline press, 2 minutes rest, neutral close grip chin ups, 2 minutes rest, then go back to your A1, which is the incline press. If you are doing this in the gym, it's fantastic because we'll normally have 2 people per rack. You can do your incline press, adjust the weights to your partner. They can do the incline press. You can adjust the weights back for you. Then you can do your chin-ups. Your partner can do your chin-ups, and then you can go back into your incline press. So it's kind of like a you go, I go format with adjusting the weights for each of you in between, and that means then you're getting the sufficient rest. Now, like I said, guys, in the introduction, you must make sure that the reps dictate the load. So lots of men at SOS are very guilty of just doing body weight chin-ups. Whatever the rep scheme, they'll be doing body weight chin-ups. So, we've got a few guys I know in the morning class that can do sets of 8, sets of 10, sets of 12. If that's you, then you need to be loading up these chins with a weight belt or a dumbbell in between your legs. Okay, because if you can do 4 sets of 10, and this rep scheme is 4 sets of 6, and all you do is use the same weight you did for 4 sets of 10, you're going to have a detraining effect. You're doing the opposite of progressive overload. Okay, so you're not following progressive overload at all. You're actually giving your body less of a stimulus. So in that case, your body could actually, send signals to those muscles to say, hey, you know what? That muscle we've built on our back, we don't really need that anymore because training's getting easier. Okay, so we don't want to be giving the body negative signals. We want to give it positive signals. So if you were doing 4 sets of 10 with body weight, and now we got 4 sets of 6, add a 5 kilo plate to you and do them as well. We also had a lot of members in the last phase. They got excited because we were using the lat pull downs, and they started doing lat pull downs when they should have been doing chin-ups. If that was you as well, you're going to probably have had a slight detraining effect. Whenever you see chin-ups, that means you need to work on your chin-ups. Unless you're too heavy to do eccentrics, and in that case, then you want to be working on more rowing-based motions to really strengthen that mid-back scapular retractors. Whenever I program for clients online, I don't give them chin-ups for the first 12 weeks. I'll do 2 variations of rows. Now, you can see we have rows in our B series, but I'd also program rows in the A series for anyone that is new to training. And ring rows are a great option because it gets you used to using at least a portion of your body weight. It teaches you to keep your core nice and tight and braced in a nice straight line, which will transfer nicely over to progress into chin-ups one day. Okay, so that's your A series on upper body 1. The B series is very simple, just 4 sets of 6 to 8. Whenever we do dumbbells, we use a neutral grip, okay, because we've into a pronated grip with the A series. So for the glenohumeral joint, the long-term shoulder health, we use a neutral grip here. Neutral grip also allows you to get a little bit deeper into the contraction. So that's going to allow you to obviously recruit more muscle fibers involved in the press. Okay, so it is better for hypertrophy because you're recruiting more muscle fibers, and better for longevity and shoulder health. The B2 is a single arm cable row. We'll be doing these twice a week. The Monday cable row, unilateral, is going to be supinating. So what that means is the arm is going to supinate into this position here. You're going to finish off underneath. So you start neutral and you finish off underneath. Okay, so how that looks is like this. Okay, you're going to start here. All right, and then as you pull, you're going to twist under. Okay, so you're getting nice and deep into the. If you look at pronated grip, you can't pull it as far. Yeah, it's about 6 inches there from how deep I can go. If I go neutral, I can pull a bit more. If I go supinated, I can go even more. So a bit like the dumbbell press, it allows you to get into a deeper contraction into the back. So we're going to be doing supinating. On the second upper body work of the week, it just stays neutral. Okay, so there's no twist in the second upper body session of the week, which we'll see in a minute. Now the A series and B series is quite simple. You just got to make sure you get the loading right. Don't go too light. At the same time, don't go too heavy on the first set and ruin your workout. You know, build up to it. You can take as many warm-up sets as you want to, and you will need more warm-up sets the lower the rep scheme is. So get in nice and early. Do your mobility beforehand and make sure that you have time to build. So how we normally build, we do 6 reps at around 50% of the weight you think you're going to use on the day. So go in and do the empty bar for 10 or 12 reps. Get a synovial fluid working through the joints. Use 50% of the weight you're predicting you're going to use roughly. Do 6. Get 75% of the weight you're predicting for yourself that you're going to use, and do 4 reps. Then use a weight that's about 10% lighter than you're going to do for your first set. Do 2 reps. So 10 reps for the empty bar, 6 reps, 4 reps, and 2 reps, 50%, 75%, 90%. And then by that point, then you should be ready for your first set. Obviously, with chin-ups, you're not going to do 10 reps, 6 reps, 4 reps, and 2 reps. All I advise you to do is a nice set of rows. You can use the T-bar row, the cable row, or the gymnastic ring row for 10 to 12 reps. Get some blood into those big back muscles. Get the biceps working. Get used to the elbow flexing and extending. And then just do a couple of chins after every set of incline press. So 1 to 2 reps, just build. And obviously, if you are going to use a lot of weight, if this was me, I'd have around 25 to 30 kilos on me. I'd maybe do the first set, 4 to 5 reps body weight. Then I'd add like 8 kilos, then maybe 15 kilos. Last warm-up set would be like 20 kilos. Then I get ready to start. Okay, we've gone through the B series already. And the C series, guys, nice and simple, is isometrics, which basically means staying still. You're going to go into the press-ups on the gymnastic rings. We've hung up an extra pair of these, and also they're still the press-ups. The gymnastic rings are still on the power racks. What we will do this week is we'll move them into the second part of the gym, okay, towards the dumbbells. So you haven't got to do too many steps in your workout, but you're going to hold the press position. It says 60-second hold. We want to go to exhaustion, okay? So we want to be going to exhaustion. All right, it's important we do that to really push the stress on the muscle. You know, so go to exhaustion. That means you get to the point where you can't do it anymore. Now, ideally, that's going to happen between 20 and 40 seconds. And then you're going to take a short rest if you need it. All right. And then go into 10 reps, 2, 0, 1, 0 tempo. So 2 down and 1 up. Okay. So you hold for 20 to 40 seconds, basically to failure. Now, it's not a straight arm hold. It's not a high plank. It's not a low hold where you're stretching the pecs. There's tension on the pecs. You're finding that midpoint, the hardest point in the movement, the mid-range normally. All right. And you're really squeezing your pec, pushing the gymnastic rings together to get that sort of pectoral fly position. You're in a deep pec contraction as well. After you've done the isometric press-up hold and the press-ups, into an isometric hold with the dumbbells. Again, we want to get fatigued around 20 to 40 seconds, so you shouldn't be able to hold the contraction anymore. If you or more, it is way, way, way too light, and you need to go a lot heavier. Okay, so with this first curl here, it's neutral grips like a hammer. Okay, then the second curl is supinated. Okay, so we're going to open the palm. All right, so you have an open palm as you do the curl, and with this curl, there's a 1/4 rep at the bottom. Okay, I've actually written it out here because I know some of you you see curl standing and you think you know what you're doing, but without seeing the neutral, the supinated, the quarter rep, you only see that by clicking on the exercises. Okay, so a lot of you sometimes forget, especially when you're doing it yourself. So I've actually written the exercise in here for you. Okay, so hopefully you can see them. They're written in at the top. Okay, so that's there. Let's look at the next workout. Okay, so Tuesday we have lower body one. Okay, so this workout has a slightly different setup. Okay, we're going to be doing front squats in the A series. It's been great to see a lot of you getting better at front squats. With a lot of you are using the straps. The front squats are one of the best exercises you can do. A lot of guys say to me, "How are my abs so chunky?" And one of the reasons was I've done front squats for sort of the last 15 years. You know, the upright position, the fact the bar is in front, the fact you can lose it so easy by getting crushed. Basically, you got to keep your scapular retractors up, elbows high, brace the abdominal wall. Erector spine has to really stabilize the upper back as well, where you tend to hunch over with the front squat, which is a fantastic core exercise. You've got 4 sets of 6. Okay, you can take 3 to 4 minutes rest in between sets. The B series is inertia squats. I know a lot of you have missed these. We haven't done them since the gym has reopened. Okay, so we've got 8 sets of squats in lower body one. The front squats for 4 sets, then the inertia squats for 4 sets. With the inertia squats, you can go a lot heavier. Okay, and the good news is when you've done your front squats, you've done your 4 sets, there's no need to unrack the bar. All we need to do is put the pins up, the safety pins, a lot higher to mid-range. We can put the barbell down on the pins, add some more weight straight away, and we got our 4 sets of 6 to 8 with a 2-2x tempo. That means you're gonna pause. You're not gonna ricochet the barbell off the safety pin. It's not a pin touch squat. That's a totally different exercise. It's an inertia squat. So you want to be lifting a dead weight, but even though the weight is dead, all right, you'll still stay braced for that 2 seconds. Now the C series is going to be quite fun. I'm sure the girls are going to enjoy this one. We've got a booty bridge. Yeah, the hip extension with the shoulders supported on a bench. You've got a nice big range of motion. You're driving those hips up to full range, squeezing your glutes as hard as you can. Now, it's going to be hard to get the fatigue on this one because the glutes are such a big muscle group, and we're not loading you up massively. But you can have a dumbbell on your hips. Okay. Now, the glutes have got a combination of sort of fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers. So by holding for quite a long time, you're really going to fatigue a lot of the fibers, both fast twitch and slow twitch, because when you're doing an isometric contraction, you can't get blood into the muscle. Okay, so you are going to knock off a lot of fast twitch fibers, even though you're not working explosively. And then from there, you're going to really fatigue the more slower twitch fibers with 12 to 15 reps immediately after the hip extension. If you don't want to do the hip extension with band, I'm happy for you to continue doing it in this position where your shoulders are on the bench. And it's actually one that I did in lockdown, and my glutes are sore for about 4 days. So a few options there. If you're doing it in the gym, the coaches will talk you through it. I'm happy for you to do the hold and do the same movement. I'm happy you do the hold, and then in the same movement, do the reps. Then the fun bit will be the C3 and C4, a dumbbell, Bulgarian split squat. What we're going to do, we're going to do the isometrics. So left leg is going to be on the floor, right leg is going to be on the bench. You're going to go down to that mid-range. If your left leg is in front, you can have a dumbbell in your right arm. Okay, back's going to stay upright, chest proud, and you're going to bend that knee. Okay, till you're feeling those quads working. You'll also feel the glutes working as well, because you just did glutes literally 45 seconds ago. So the fact that glutes are so pre-fatigued is going to really encourage your quads to step up to the mark and do more of the work, because your glutes are already very tired. After you've done the hold on your left leg, you're straight into max reps. Okay, and then you're going to do the right leg hold into max reps with the right leg, and then go back to your glutes. So good. Finish off the glutes and quads. Okay, let's look at upper body 2. Excuse me. Okay, so your A series, we have bench press is a decline. Okay, so decline is going to work a little bit more at the bottom of the chest. Okay, with close grip. Okay, so we know close grip is more triceps. We've done close grip bench press recently on a flat. And we get a quarter rep at the bottom. Okay, there's no quarter rep at the bottom of this one. It's just a normal close grip bench press for 6 reps. So this is going to really help develop some strength in the triceps and in the frontal deltoids as well. So yeah, and then we're going to superset this again with a pull-up. Okay, this is going to be a wide grip pull-up, pronated grip. Okay, so we're going to be really working those lats in that wide position. Again, like I said, if you see pull-ups or chin-ups, make sure you're working on whatever form you can, whether it's isometrics, eccentrics, or your reps. It's been great to see so many women in the gym. We've got a few women now who can do between 7 and 9 reps with full lockout. So it'll be great to see who the first member female is that can do, you know, sets of 10. B series 45-degree dumbbell press incline. The dumbbells roll back downstairs now at the gym, which is fantastic. It makes our lives a lot easier in terms of if you are choosing a weight that's a little bit too light, then you can go a little bit heavier straight away. Okay, so and then we got, like I said, the seated row single arm. Okay, but this one is just neutral all the way through. Okay, and then the C series, we're going to do banded lateral raises again, going to exhaustion. Okay, so you can work in pairs. One of you can start with the lateral raises, the isometric. Yeah, and as soon as you've done the isometric with the lateral raise, you can go into your reps. As soon as you don't need the band, your partner can go. All right, and then we're going to do face pulls again with the band. All right, and then you can go into more rope-based face pulls with a cable, or you can just use the band again. So you could actually use the band for 3 of these 4 exercises, just not the lateral raises. So there we go, a nice shoulder finisher, really working on the medial delts and rear delts and scapular retractors as well, and a little bit of shoulder health work here as well, especially when you're doing a lot of close grip bench press. It's important to look after those shoulders. Okay, so that's the 2 upper body workouts. Lower body 2, we have deadlifts on the menu. Now, if you haven't deadlifted before, you can do hex bar deadlifts. I recommend you to do hex bar deadlifts if you've never deadlifted with a straight bar. And the reason for that is a hex bar deadlift is like a hybrid between a squat and a deadlift. It's a little bit easier to teach the hip hinge safely with the hex bar. So hex bar deadlift could be an option here for you if you've never done any deadlifts before, or maybe if you have a little bit of lower back pain. But if you're good to go, we're doing deadlifts on a 4-1-X0 tempo. We're not going to ricochet it off the floor. We're going to brace at the bottom, really make sure we're working the glutes, hamstrings, lower back, all right, with good form. The B series, then we've got a front foot elevated lunge. I've noticed a lot of members at the gym when they're doing their split squats on the floor, they're not using full range. We want to make sure we drive that knee right over the toe. That's going to teach your body to get a big stretch on the soleus, the Achilles tendon. It's also going to improve your dorsiflexion and plantar flexion slightly at the ankle joint, which will allow you to transfer to better sports performance, whether it's running, walking, jumping, or barbell back squats. A lot of people have very stiff ankles. Okay, their knees don't travel too well over the toes because their ankles are very tight and restricted. By really forcing that knee over the toe and by elevating the front foot, whether it's on a split squat or a lunge in this case, you can really start strengthening and stretching as well the tissues in and around the ankle joint. Okay, so really driving these over the toes on these. And like I said before, we have got some eccentric work in here. We're going to be doing the Nordic leg curls. Now, I haven't got a video for this because I want to set it up the same way where we use the bench at the gym. But all I want you to do is go 6 seconds down, all right? And then use your hands to come up. So we're not working on the concentric. So I want you to go super, super, super slow all the way down for 6 seconds. So if you've been able to do maybe the top 30 degrees and come up yourself, try and go now 45 degrees down and then cheat on the way up. Okay, I don't want you working on the way up, just on the way down. Okay, we know the eccentrics are fantastic for allowing you to recruit new muscle fibers. Okay, and they create for a hypertrophy stimulus. Okay, and they might make you very sore as well, which is all good. Okay, the C series, we've got front foot elevated isometric, heels elevated squat. So we've had lots of the slant balls made. We can see this elevated squat here is actually done on a book because it's a video from the lockdown. All right, but don't be using a book. All right, use the big 30-degree. That's it. You're going to squat down. Oh, so come to that point of tension. You're not sat all the way down. You're above 90 degrees. There's tension on the quads. We actually want this heel elevation to be even higher, 30 degrees, so you can drive your knees forward even more. You can see that the shins here are quite perpendicular, which is giving you a bit more. It is working the quads, but it's also working a little bit of glutes. So you can see the way Gav's doing it, he's spreading the floor, getting a bit more glute medius in here as well. We want your heels a little bit higher and drive those knees forward so we get a bit more of a quad-based stimulus. And then from there, we're going to be going into landmine hack squats. You can also use a hack squat machine if you want to. No problem with that at all. But we want to do a nice landmine hack squat, deep as we can. All right, deep as we can. And using the weight, and we can adjust the weight as required. The landmine hack squat isn't too bad. It's an okay exercise. It's quite a nice stimulus. But trust me when I say, if you've done the heels elevated squat on a large heel elevation, driving those knees forward to the point where you can't do it anymore, and then you go into landmine hack squat or hack squat machine, your quads are going to be quite sore, and it's a nice stimulus to, again, push a little bit more muscle growth. I'm not going to mess around with isometrics in regards to RDLs. I've never really seen the point, the risk versus reward on the lower back and all the, the vertebra at the bottom of the back and the discs. It's very advanced doing isometrics with a hip hinge. Okay, it can be done, but we need to utilize things like horizontal back extensions, 45 degrees. So for these, all we're going to do is good quality, nice heavy dumbbells. All right, really nice big range of motion. Feel that stretch in the hamstrings, okay? Load up that posterior chain with them. All right, 8 to 10 reps. So go nice and heavy. If your grip is a limiting factor, don't be afraid to use straps. But I like the dumbbell variation of the RDL because you can really get those external rotators involved. All right, the barbell forces you into a certain grip, whereas you can really bend the dumbbells around your mid-thigh and really work that upper back into a really good position. So you feel tension right through the posterior chain. Okay, so have a little look at those. It's a great exercise. Okay, there we go. And bam, bam, bam. I think that is us done. Okay, there is obviously strongman training as well on here, which is great. I put a modified strongman session on here for you, which you can take a little look at. But as you know, whenever you come to SOS, there's always a different workout on the board. How we normally do it is we do some form of a lift first, normally, then a carry, then a cardio exercise, and then an animal flow movement. So you can make your own up. The lifts could be, barbell clean and press. It could be a kettlebell clean and press. It could be a devil press. It could be a push press, a box squat press, any lift. A carry could be a farmer's walk, a yoke carry. It could be a sandbag carry, a med ball run, any form of carry that's loaded. Your cardio then could be ski erg, assault bike, prowler. It could be a sprint. It could be mountain climbers, burpees, anything that gets the heart rate up. And then your animal flow movements, so your bunny hops, your horse walks, your alligator crawls, your bear crawls, your side galloping ape, your forward galloping ape, etc. So there's lots of different variations there that we can use with the modified strongman. Okay, so that's on there for you as well. And like I said, with the conditioning, you haven't got to worry about it so much. It's all about just using different modalities really, just to get that training stimulus. But I like the carries because they transfer to improve grip strength. It teaches you to brace as well when you're doing things like the yoke carries. So it does transfer to sports performance and physical life, real life, really, really well. Okay, so guys, I think that's it. If there's any questions, I'll come back on here and go through. That's 30 minutes, very detailed explanation of the new phase, of how you do it, how to set it up properly, etc. So yeah, look forward to seeing you all in the gym. If anyone's got any questions, comment below this video. I'll also send it out on the SOS app. So if you do look at it in your own time, you've always got it in your messages. Right, speak to you soon, guys. Enjoy your Sunday evening.